And now we're live.
Definitely.
Hey, it's always better the second time, okay?
Yeah. Point of inspiration to Gibble.
Just like pizza.
Letting us know we weren't actually live.
Thanks, Spencer.
Oh, boy. Thank you very much, Spencer. Good evening, and welcome finally back to the Red 5 Tavern Season 2 campaign, The Accursed Queen of the Iron Bridge. Tonight we are playing Chapter 2, The Queen's Court. Now, much like last week, tonight we have the pleasure of welcoming back some of the players that many of you are familiar with, and perhaps one you're not. But before we get to them, we're going to begin tonight's episode immediately after the end of episode 1, where Captain Accursed had begun sort of the retreat of all the guards back into the barracks, and people are slowly emerging out of their hiding places where they were hunkering down during the really nasty attack of the Wyvern. And we're going to start with Torga. Tina, you were playing last week. So what was Torga doing immediately after the attack of the Wyvern?
Torga was going back to her tent where she had been selling ale during the festival and was going to check on her donkey companion Grog and see what became of her coin.
Yeah, your coin's not there. It's all gone.
Yeah,
so.
I figured.
Sorry.
I'll be settling up with that at some point.
Yeah, you had some substantial money in there, silver pieces, some copper, and several gold. So that's all gone, unfortunately.
Dwarf never forgives us light.
So hopefully you can find that in the future. Another player that was playing last week, Kelly, she was playing her character Datari, and she sent me a message and said that she would have told Torga that she needs a coffee, first of all, and that she thanked her for her assistance with that asshole lunatic in the tavern. So we all remember that going back and forth. He was an interesting character. She would then head back to the Rock Falls Inn and Tavern, where she's staying. She'd changed out of her town clothes into something more comfortable, and probably gone downstairs for a coffee. And she thought to herself that, I wonder if giving Torga a heads up about that elf that she saw looting, but decided against it because, that's just the way it is, it's that sort of thing. And after that, we've got Draymond, who is played by Steve. After he dispatched his prey in that little tavern, he quietly left that bar by the back door at the back of the bar, so not going through all the townsfolk in the front of him. And he left the festival shortly after the announcement of the assembly, and found an old abandoned barn on the outskirts, on the outside of the city walls, and that's where he slept for the night. And finally, Kelsier, who we know as Brad, who's playing him, he actually converted his tent and his whole setup into like a triage center for the wounded and anybody he could help. So he was really on the front line of that after the attack. So that being said, let's introduce tonight's players. We'll start with Grist. You have DB. You have an introduction for a quick introduction for Grist.
Yes, I am Grist Dublaze, half elven ranger. I am more, I would say, human than elf as far as customs go, having never known my mother. During this, came to this festival to kind of sell some of my leather works and such, and found some adventure that I was also looking for. So while this was all going on, I was trying to, I guess, help where I could, using my leather straps to help mend the people that were hurt, and try to calm those that were running in terror.
Nice. And you bedded down, I guess, once everything calmed down in your vendor tent sort of thing?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Gibble, Spencer, welcome to Red 5 Tavern, by the way. This is your first game playing, so welcome. And we're glad to have you aboard. And what was Gibble doing?
Oh, Gibble? Well, what you're going to know about Gibble here, right? He's this little goblin barbarian, right? So anyway, Gibble here, he has this gladiatorial background that he has. And so anyway, he was resting there, and he was actually sleeping when the attack initially happened. And so, yeah, he got woken up all of a sudden, and you're trying to figure out what was going on. And the moment he realized that, well, maybe he could try to do something about this big attack that's going on. However, once he got into a position to try to help, there's this guard that sort of interjected with him and didn't really let him help. And so he was there arguing the entire time with a guard because, people be racist against goblins.
How often that happens. And you were sleeping. You were like sleeping during the day. What was going on with that?
Gibble was waiting for something to happen, a nighttime activity.
Oh, like some sort of gladiatorial sort of events, like after the family day stuff, the more adult sort of centered it. Nice. Okay, so he was waiting for the after dark.
See, and there's the tavern. I was thinking, are there some goblin prostitutes in the village or something? What you got going on?
Oh,
what
and
that
with that,
mouth do, baby?
That's stop number 2.
Okay.
And with that, we welcome back Aaron, who's playing Eve tonight. Aaron, would you like to introduce your character, Eve?
Yeah, Eve is a Dragonborn Paladin Warlock mix, a Hexadin, if you will. He's bronze with kind of piercing blue eyes. He's kind of dressed in a mix of like chainmail, longsword, shield, typical paladin stuff, and also like furs and kind of dilapidated looking fabrics and clothing. Kind of looks like almost like a voodoo kind of shaman kind of look. And his shield kind of bears this like blue background with like this platinum etched or inlay symbol of like a platinum dragon head. And he's with a sentinel, who's basically like a Jedi master over him, a gold dragonborn named Zenare, who's like a good foot shorter than him, but that's also not saying much because Eve is a good like 6'8", 250 pounds. So they're both quite tall. But yeah. Dragonborn are big boys.
Put you on me shoulder.
Yeah.
What's the weather like up there?
Yeah.
But yeah, they were going to the festival, basically serving as escorts to this caravan that was going there to celebrate the festivities, and their mission completed, decided to stick around for the festival. And this is basically Eve's first, like, actual adventure out into the field, now that he has sworn an oath to the Platinum Cadre. And, but, as they're kind of observing festivities, the attack happens, and Eve wants to, like, fight the Wyvern at first, but Zenare kind of holds him back and makes sure that they attend to the people first, get them safe, and then after which they assist the guards in kind of loading and aiming the ballistae, doing what they can to fight, even though it's largely futile, but they do what they can to keep everyone as safe as possible. And people kind of look up to them based on how they act and their stature and gleaming appearance and everything. Even though for many, I think they'd feel really weird about Dragonborn. But I think that for other reasons, the city guard would be like more okay with them, seeing as their captain is a Dragonborn as well.
Exactly. And you may remember from the chapter 1, Elsier had a little bit of interaction with both you and your master, a little bit in that adventure. So you guys were there. So, all right. And the evening, how were you spending that after everything sort of died down and bedtime? Were you guys just sort of hanging out in the main area and bedroll sort of thing, or did you have prior arrangements? Oh, that was for Aaron. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I will say we'll spend as much time as we can, probably working late into the evening, making sure that like the wounded are cared for, do what healing we can, get them to, I don't know if the city would have a hospital, but equivalent, the medieval equivalent.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then we're used to roughing it, kind of poor living conditions. So we'd probably go to like just like the local flop house, something like that, and live humbly and well below our means. So
All right.
probably keeping watch to make sure that nobody tries to pickpocket us or anything like that. But that's the paladin life.
All right. And yeah, there was, the royal guard was there throughout the night. Sort of the city workers were there throughout the night, trying to clean up everything up. So there was definitely options for you to fulfill that role throughout the night as much as you wanted to. So as we close the book on day one, the next morning, you all wake up in your various places, and it's especially foggy, and it's risen up from the Calendar Valley and the Mist Run itself, and it really does set a somber mood to what was the carnage of yesterday. And as we talked about in last episode, the festival area was sort of lower part of the Iron Bridge city, and the higher up part, which is called the Heights, actually, obviously it's sort of simply named, but it's slowly coming to life and the din of the city, but it's nothing near where you would expect from most other days. And as you all sort of rouse from your sleep and remembering that call from Captain Axor, and as he sort of beseeched all of these heroes that stood up and helped, you start to make your way down to the festival area, because as we talked about before, the actual castle of Iron Bridge is actually at the end of that. So as you guys descend towards that area, the grounds are eerily quiet. They're empty, of course. The vendors, there's a few tents here and there. For example, Torga's tent is there. But the Royal Guard and various heroes, such as Eve and his mentor, really, working overnight to remove as much waste, debris, and sadly dead bodies as they could, because the carnage was fast and was furious, unfortunately. And as you guys are collecting, you see sort of a throng of people that, villagers, you've got young folk, older people, races, ages, whatever it is, women, men, the whole bit, are all congregating close to the entrance gate of the Iron Bridge Castle for this call to arms. And as you guys are walking down towards it at your various speeds, you walk by the grandstand, what remains of it actually, and so it's one of the last structures that they haven't cleared away yet, because it was quite large, and unfortunately it was just the last thing that was there. And so it was really a sort of a grim reminder of how the whole attack happened yesterday. And you figure about 24 other people making their way towards the castle gates. They've got crude weapons. Some of them have pitchforks, a hoe. Sorry, that's a gardening tool, Torga.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me
right, just to
knows
clarify.
how about the garden there, you saucy
apparently I don't
dungeon
have one.
master.
That's the tallest hoe me ever seen. There's also people who look like they're armored. They have armor. They've got, look like they're ready for battle. And amongst yourselves, you see, not like you're checking out the other people, but you're seeing definitely varying degrees of people who could support themselves in a mission to help save or protect the kingdom from a Wyvern attack. And some people look like mages. Some of them look like helpers. It's just like a very, very wide variety, and races as well. So as you guys make your way towards the Iron Bridge Castle, you're presented with the castle gates are open, but there's guards, and there's probably a good dozen of guards sort of directing all of you into like a funnel sort of thing into the castle itself. And as you enter in, they're asking every warrior, every volunteer, every person to surrender their weapons, because of course now you're entering the castle. And as you guys see this, they have multiple tables, and they have a guard at each one, and they're all laying the weapons very methodically and very well placed. And you see one of the sergeants is say, "Oh yeah, please remove your weapons as you enter into the castle. Of course, we can't have weapons and such things, so please do your best to surrender everything you can, and we will protect it, keep it all together, and you'll be able to collect it after you're done with Captain Axel." So do you guys surrender your weapons? And you see everyone else is doing it, whether it's a pitchfork or it's a longsword. Everyone's sort of complying. They're not armor, just bladed weapons, blunt weapons, whatever it is, wands, whatever. Like they're all sort of surrendering them just to sort of keep this whole thing somewhat safe.
Yeah, I'll walk up, and I'm really partial to this bow, so
This bow will go nowhere, my man. It'll be here. I'll be looking over it. You'll have it when you get back. This is not a weapons grab. You've all done this kingdom a service, and it's the least we can do to protect your weapons before you enlist to help the town.
Are you sure I shouldn't just take it with me? Because there was things flying around. There was a big thing flying, and remember...
Yes, sir, I understand your concern, and believe me, I lost 2 brothers in this battle. There's nothing more than I wanted a weapon, but at this point we need to protect the queen, protect the royalty, and do what we must for the kingdom. You'll have your weapons here, unscathed and untouched. I promise thee.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, brothers, and I appreciate the service you do to this. So you may have my weapons.
Right. So he takes them down and places them very specifically. And
I get a number.
Yes, it's a ballet. So one of the other guards runs over and takes your weapons and runs. No, he doesn't do that at all. He's looking for a tip, by the way. No, he's not. Yeah. So do you guys all give your weapons, sort of thing, like just sort of surrender them?
Torga says, these weapons they're me bloodline. I'd hate to have to come find you if something happens to them.
Hi, milady. There's no such thing as anything happening to your weapons. Believe me, the fact that you're here at a call to arms for a place that, quite frankly, you've never been to, that I've never seen, I will protect your weapons with my life because you're willing to protect our kingdom with yours.
I'll hold you to that. And so she places her 2 bigger weapons down, but she's got her 2 hand axes down her pants, so he doesn't know that.
Well, now he does. He just told him. Oh, wait.
I thank you for your service, and nothing will happen without my life. And you can tell he's young and quite intimidated by you.
Thank you, you wee lad. I appreciate you.
He blushes. And Gibble, what about you? What are you doing?
Yeah, Gibble does not want his weapons taken at all. Because you know who I am, right? I'm me, Gibble. Just listen. I surely you've seen me around. Surely I can just be allowed in here with my weapons.
I can't let you go in with it. It's a strict rule from Captain Axel. He said there's no weapons. You must understand, as a hero for the kingdom, as a volunteer, and there's nothing that I don't think that you can do without this weapon. But please, I can't let you in. You cannot come in if you do not surrender your weapon. And you see, like, one sergeant who was just talking to Tor to come over. Sir, I don't understand. I don't know how to say the words. That I can appreciate what you're doing for this kingdom, and I understand your attachment to this weapon. However, you will be speaking to some of the most important people in this kingdom very, very soon. And if you could understand for just a short amount of time, I will guarantee you this weapon will be exactly where you placed it, with the exact dust and time on this weapon that you've left it. It will be here. I guarantee it. It's just about a matter of safety. And I beseech you for understanding for a short period of time. And believe me, I don't want to face you in an arena where I have to come accountable for my lies, where I have treachered my promise. Believe me.
What other question? Is there any gold involved in any of this at all?
I cannot speak to rewards, but we have been told that the rewards for the heroes of the kingdom will be substantial. It's like nothing we've ever faced. And if you, the heroes, manage to save this kingdom, I can't imagine the rewards.
Better be gold among these rewards. And he gives up his great axe and his other weapons he has on his back.
Nice. I would have also accepted. I can imagine quite a lot. It's a little Han Solo. All right, so you surrender your weapons, and Eve.
Yeah, so the two of them will kind of walk up to the table, and Eve will start to hand over his longsword, but then just kind of like pause as he like can't quite hand it over. Looks over to Zenere. Zenere looks back at him and just wordlessly just kind of like nods her head as she unsheaths her rapier and hands it over. And before handing it over, he'll speak to the guard and just say, "Now, this is Mistgard. It's a family weapon. It belongs to the Malfour de los Santange clan. I've sworn my life to defend it, so if anything happens, then we're gonna have some words. You hear?"
Yeah. Yes, my lord. Again, another young one. Obviously, these conscripts have gotten quite younger with the carnage that happened yesterday. Yes, my lord. Nothing will happen to Mistgard. Mistgard.
Mistgard.
Mistgard. Nothing will happen to your weapon. I implore. It will be exactly where you've left it. It is simply about security for the queen and for all those who you're going to speak to, including the royal advisor. I mean, the level of security must be handled, and once you return here, it'll be exactly here. And we thank you for your understanding.
Now, I hope my trust in the crown is not misplaced. And he'll just kind of like lay the blade on the table, and you'll see it's got like a kind of jet black handle of some kind of matte black metal, which has a almost kind of iridescent purple glow to it, with like inlaid studs of platinum, and the blade itself appears to be platinum finished, or perhaps even pure platinum. And then just kind of lays it on the table, and if he had a hat, he would tip it and just say, "Now, don't go anywhere.
You hear?
Boy."
Yeah.
Roscoe Pico train.
There's a little bit like a Creole Buster Scruggs there.
No two cheek kiss. All right.
Stay
All
right
right.
there now.
So
I love it.
you guys sort of move into the throng of people as you guys are walking. Torga, you recognize, of course, Gitari, who's walking there and sort of walking close to you. You guys are side by side. You see Kelsier, who you guys saw up close, that sort of healer you guys saw from episode 1, and a bunch of other people too. Nothing too clear, but you recognize some people in there. And as you guys are sort of now fully beyond the weapons surrendering, you're brought to the Royal Guard's mess hall, which is basically near the barracks, just outside the keep's inner wall. So you've got like the castle, the outer walls, and you've got the actual castle iron bridge inside, and that's got its own citadel walls. So you see various military and various kind of buildings, and you guys are being sauntered into the Royal's mess hall. And you walk in there, and there's about a whole bunch of tables, probably accommodate 100 or so soldiers, and all the way at the other end, there's like a raised dais, there's nothing too formal, but like a sort of presentation area. And but in front of that, there's like a buffet of food, unlike you guys have ever seen before. Just meats and fruits and wine and water and freshly squeezed juices and stuff like that. It's like you guys are salivating. You guys haven't seen this type of offering of food in a long time. And as the last stragglers are sort of drawing into the mess hall, from behind you, you hear Captain Axor behind you. Thank you all for your time this morning. Some of you lost loved ones yesterday, and I commend you for your help. It is a hard time for us all. And for those who were here for the festival, and you presented yourselves here, I thank you. The kingdom thanks you. Please, have something to eat. The royal advisor will be here shortly. And so with that, you see a couple of guards come in, and then they close the doors, and some of you guys sort of like look around at each other like, who's going to be first? And someone sort of goes first to the table and sort of starts the throng of people, and you see plates all the way to the left, and you guys just, whatever you guys can think of to eat and drink, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever you guys want is up there. And you guys go have at it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we're not going to go through the details of what's available a la carte. I don't care about what you want syrup or not syrup on, or buttered or whipped, whatever.
Shrimp, black and chicken.
little bit of po' boy.
Just give me a big old roasted turkey leg.
There you go.
Some good grub right there.
The only thing I like better than a good mug of ale is a good meal.
With ale.
Yes, with ale.
So, okay, so you guys get your various spreads and your foods, and you're spread out. Actually, Torga, you sit with your newfound friend there, Datari, because you're familiar with them. Everyone else is pretty much separate. You guys are amongst the throng of people. And from the left-hand side door, in with quite a wind, enters this sort of very elegantly dressed woman. And she comes to dais, and she sits down at the modest, I mean, we're talking like just a chair, basically, and she sits there. And you see a couple of advisors speaking to her, and talking and nodding and looking over everything. And you see one of her advisors bring her like a plate of food, and she's like, no. And then another one to the left brings her like a cup. It's like, no. And so she just sort of sits there, and I am Leara Briswind, and she repeats it a couple of times to sort of cut through the din. I am Leara Briswind, Royal Advisor to Her Majesty Queen Laramie of Ironbridge. Thank you all for coming. In this most desperate time, some among you may be our only hope. In brief, the Queen has become overcome. In brief, the Queen has become over. Wow. And three. In brief,
you can do
the Queen has been overcome by a curse. One I'm still trying to understand, but our scholars are furiously trying to understand its grip. It befell her suddenly, and we all saw the immediate effect. And for those who are not from here, the Royal Duranathir line has kept the Wyvern of Tar Island at bay for centuries. A powerful aura that is unique to them was severed by this curse. And ancient scrolls that we have found point to a relic that is integral to the breaking of this curse. Unfortunately, the relic is buried deep inside the Wyvern Clutch's lair on Tar Island. This journey will take days and cross the Iron Bridge to get onto Tar Island. There's no real way to soften this news, but Captain Axor has told me of heroes that rose to the moment yesterday. and he will be leading our repositioning of our siege weapons and armies, half which have suffered complete catastrophic failures when we tried to deploy them early this morning. You may have seen 2 ballistas on the battlefield. We have 6. 4 of them are in need of desperate repair. And we are out of hand with defenses from these winged evil demons. So, as I see it, the people here, as much as I appreciate all of your presence, it will be an adventure that you must take on amongst yourselves. I cannot spare 1 Royal Guard resource, unfortunately. They must remain to defend the kingdom. And if you will stand once again in your various ways of heroism, that the rewards will be great. As will the challenge. That I promise. At this moment, I must ask you to make a commitment. A commitment to the kingdom, a commitment to the adventure, and a commitment to the reward. Now, this mission may not be what you may be seeking, but your presence here shows a resilience that was appreciated and desperately needed. If you wish to join the mission, please consider joining us. But if you can't, there are many other positions that I can offer you. The city public works, or as healers, as opening your houses, your rooms, your tents to those who need. There are many different levels of help. The kingdom is in dire straits, and it's only going to get worse over the next weeks. So, I ask you once more, the heroes of yesterday morning's attack, please present yourself, sign the commitment, and join the adventure to save this commitment and this kingdom. Captain, bring those heroes who wish to join the mission to the Queen's Court with haste. And she stands up, and she walks out, again surrounded by her assistants, and she's gone. And that's the short of it that she says. And basically all among you start like chattering. You hear like a din of noise, like, holy shit, what the hell was that about? And you see some people, some older people, some younger people with sort of their crude weapons finishing up their meals and walking out the back door. Sorry, they're walking out the door that they came through, and obviously it's just not for them. What do you guys do? What do you guys think?
Eve
We'll start
will
with Reeve. Okay.
Eve will stand up immediately and call out, the Dragonborn Paladins of the Platinum Cadre will lend their aid. And he will walk up to wherever the thing is and sign it. Just no hesitation.
All right. So there's a table set up at the front. So you start walking towards here, and you look off to the left, and you see Captain Axor look at you, and he nods his head to you.
Give the nod of recognition back.
Grist, what are you doing?
I'm going to. I'm kind of hanging back, people watching, see what the reaction was. I was saddened to see so many go. Felt like we had a community here, and it seems that the community is falling.
Oh yeah, it's more than half of the people have upped and left after hearing Iron Bridge, Tar Island, Wyvern Lair. Yeah, that was deal breaker for many of them.
So I kind of exclaimed to myself, "It's fascinating! It's fascinating!" And I walk up. I look at the Axor and just nod and say, "You have my bow." No, seriously, you have my bow.
You were sitting on that the last 15 minutes.
Oh my god, he was waiting for that. I love it. I love it. Yes.
But I'm in, and I sign, and I kind of move off to the side again just to see who else is following us.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And Torga, God, that was great. And Torga walks up and goes, I swear me hammer that you're holding that I'm gonna need back. And on the word of Clan Hammerstone, I'll help you.
You'll have whatever weapon that you gave, and I thank you for your service. And that's
Aye.
Axor, as he's sort of standing towards near the table. And Gibble, what are you doing?
Yeah, Gibble's just gonna go on up. He's
Did
gonna
you say Gilbert?
That would have been pronounced Gilbert. Thank you very much. If I
Oh no.
Gibble's gonna go up, and he's like about to sign it. And he goes, "Now, before I sign this, you say there. After I become the hero, there's lots of gold for me, right?"
There's rewards. As you heard the royal advisor say, there's going to be rewards, and you will not be disappointed. I can guarantee you. On my word.
And how do you know that you'll have what I want?
I don't. But what she will offer you, no others have been offered ever.
Gibble sort of like ponders for a moment, debating, and then he's like, "Okay, fine. I'll sign it." And he like gives a little scribble. The kid doesn't
And
really
just
have
make your
much
mark.
here.
Make your mark. That's all we ask.
I'll do what I
And
can.
Question
and
for
we
the
thank
DM.
you for your volunteer. Yes.
What do we know about Iron Bridge? Because it's like an actual bridge, right?
Correct.
Upon which a multi-day journey can occur?
Yes. You don't really know what Iron Bridge is at all.
Okay.
You know, you did Castle Iron Bridge, but you have heard that there is an actual Iron Bridge in which this castle and this city is named after. So, yes.
Okay.
So you're not quite.
Would we know anything about Tar Island?
You guys, well, you can do a lore check if you want. That's for sure.
Sure.
Whoever's interested in doing it.
Yeah, would that be history, maybe?
Yeah, since there's no such thing as a lore check, yeah, I'd go with history.
There is in Star Wars 5e, but let's go with history.
Okay. That's my problem. Yeah, go with history. Yep.
4.
You've heard the name, but you don't really know what it is at all.
All right.
4.
So as you guys are making your way through the line up to sign up, you see, of course, right behind Torga is Datari. She's signing, no problem. And then you see that healer Torga that you recognize from that fateful morning, and he's there. He's signing, but you see that he's sort of staying in the middle. He's definitely not. He's trying not to stand out. And as he makes his way to the brothers at arms pack that he's actually signing, he's keeping his head down, and he's making his mark and sort of moving off. He's definitely trying to stay under the radar. So you take sort of note of that. And once you guys have done that part, Axor sort of gathers you guys around and sort of tells you just stay here for one moment. And then you see him walk back towards the buffet tables and clearing out the rabble who are trying to get like second and third helpings, first, second, and second breakfasts and stuff. So he sort of shuffles them out of the mess hall, and he closes the door. And this is basically a private audience with just all of you and him. And he says, I'm unfortunate. I can't spare anyone. This adventure, this mission is nothing short of deathly. I'm not going to make it any easier for all of you. But I thank you. But I do offer a friend of the kingdom, a friend of mine, who knows the terrain and the kingdom, in fact. He will be able to guide you to safer routes, maybe to give you some background on various places as you make your way towards Tar Island. He's great. He'll be here soon. There's many things that will unfortunately befall you, least of which is now the threat of Wyvern flying in the air. Wherever you go, you're going to have the same beasts that were lurking on their own volition, trying to find cover from the Wyvern, much like you will be. I don't promise that this is going. And as he's talking, like the doors open, and Axel looks down. Make, great to see you, brother. Thank you for joining. Come. And you sort of guys turn around and you see this sort of leather-clad, sort of long-haired hippie, for lack of better words, coming up towards. And sort of running up. And, oh, great to see you. And he hugs them. And basically, these guys know each other for sure. And it is great to see you. And he goes, and the Make, he says, these strangers, they're assembling for our kingdom? And actually, yes, these are the heroes I spoke to you about. I am so lamenting the fact that I missed the battle yesterday. I cannot, all of you, I would be honored to join you all as heroes of this kingdom, so that I may join you and make amends for what happened yesterday. And I'd be glad to be your guide and a brother and sister in arms for this mission that is not going to be easy, but I am more than ready to help you all, and I'm looking for adventure, and I can't wait. And so him and Axor sort of exchange pleasantries and slaps on the back, and so they're done that, and you guys are sort of looking around like, okay, well, so these guys obviously know each other. Yeah, exactly. All right, stop the touchy. And so Axel looks at you guys. Is it like a
friendly relationship or like a more than friendly relationship?
It looks like a friendly relationship that's built on years of knowledge.
Camaraderie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Torga's probably going to be like, well, we're not to singing, songs around the campfire yet, status. But they could use a guide.
We're not sharing cups of mead, but yeah, he's a human. No. He's a human, and of course, Axor is Dragonborn. So, and that just gives you a context. So, Dragonborn is really much taller, and so the fact that they're very, very close friends speaks to a relationship that probably spans maybe generations, or we're not quite sure, but they're definitely close. And you also get the sense too that the age gap between the both of them is quite significant. All right.
In which direction?
Captain Axor is much older.
Okay.
Yeah.
And his friend is human, right?
Yes. Make, M-A-I-K is his name.
Make.
And yeah, you get the sense that his bravado, his sense of adventure mimics many of yours, and perhaps suggesting that he's starting out his journey on his path as well. So you guys are all well suited for each other. So, Axor, he says, you have all signed the commitment. It is now time to understand the full strength of this mission. Come with me. And so he turns and exits the door that Liara left. And you guys cross the ground, you go behind the barracks, and you guys are now entering the actual keep of the Iron Bridge Castle. And he leads you upstairs. You're definitely now in royalty. And he brings you into the Queen's Court, and this is much more intimate, much more presentable. The royalty and the gilded columns and chairs are splendiferous. You feel like you're in some sort of revered space. And sitting at the head, at the not the throne, but the advisor's chair, off to the throne, is Liara. And Axor tells you guys to sit closely because there's plenty of space, but you guys are a very few numbered, so he gets you to sit closely. And you hear from the end, and Liara, this is all, Captain Axor? And he replies with, I witnessed heroics from many of these heroes yesterday. I am confident in them. And she replies to him and says, well, I certainly hope so. Please make yourself comfortable. I will let you know what is next. And what I'm going to tell you is bound with your brothers-in-arms contract that you've signed. and is not to be repeated to anyone but myself or Captain Axor.
Oh no, we signed an NDA.
There's always a
God damn it.
catch. I should
Pedro
know it.
Pascal will be playing. No. So she says, she takes a deep breath and she says, deep beneath us is the scepter of Wyvern's Rest. It is a conduit by which the Duranithiel line protects the realm. With Queen Laramie under the curse, that connection is lost. The aura weakens, and we endured the first incursion of a Wyvern in over 200 years. It will continue to weaken, and time is of the essence. Our scholars have found ancient texts that a fabled gem called the Wyvern's Tear must be placed into the scepter to break the curse. And as I alluded to in the mess hall, the Wyvern's Tear is located deep within the Wyvern's lair, in the Rockfield Narrows, across the dreaded Iron Bridge on Tar Island. This mission has not grown easier, only more heavy as you have more of the details, because now time is of the essence. As each moment passes, the aura weakens, and our fate grows more dire. The kingdom thanks you. Queen Laramie thanks you. She looks at Captain Axor and says, Captain, they are yours. And she gets up, and she exits right, once again. And you guys breathe a sigh of relief or of fear. And yes, Eve, you have a question?
Yes. Question for the DM. The item is the conduit of what now?
So Queen Laramie and her line have a connection to this the scepter of the Wyvern's Rest, and as long as their line is alive and or conscious, they have an innate connection to this scepter that projects an aura around the entire kingdom and keeps the Wyverns at bay. And this curse that suddenly befell her has knocked her unconscious, but at a deep level conscious, like coma style stuff. And now her connection to the scepter is severed, and it's weakening as her, not life force, but her built up, her 22 years worth of connection to it is ebbing. And this force field, as it were, is sort of glowingly disappearing. And we saw that first incursion of a Wyvern that may have just been, coincidentally flying along that edge, happened to make it under the weakest part and attacked yesterday morning.
Gotcha. And the Wyvern's Tear is located in the what Narrows?
It is located in the, come on, you remember that stuff? The Rockfield Narrows.
Rockfield Narrows. Thank you.
Yep, and that's on Tar Island.
Do we know what we call it the Wyvern Tear? Do we know what that looks like? Or we'll find that out later.
No,
Okay, just
it's a gem. You don't know what it looks like, but you'll likely find out what that is. What it looks like. Yeah, it's a gem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Layara is light on details. She's got plenty of stuff to deal with at this point. As you can tell, she's dealing with a whole bunch of stuff, especially as right. And she's running the kingdom as Queen Laramie is basically in a coma. So she's trying to coordinate all this different stuff. So she's giving as much as she can to just to get the whole thing going, and relying somewhat on Captain Axor to fill out the details. And so as you're standing around, or sitting actually, and realizing holy crap, this is not simple, Captain Axor looks at you and says, do you have any questions? I know this is much information on a short notice. I would be more than happy to provide you as much information as I can. However, I must beseech you that Tar Island is nowhere closer than we were 5 minutes ago. And this must start as soon as you can. Are there any larger questions that I can answer quickly to assuage your fears or your you're in the, anything I can do to help.
Is it known that the queen is in a coma? Or
It is not.
It's a secret.
It is not. You must not repeat this. That would only encourage nefarious ne'er-do-goods. Ne'er-do-goods? Ne'er-do-goods to attack the kingdom. We already have enough incursions by small, minor beasts that we haven't seen in decades already at the city walls.
I don't know much about this Iron Bridge. What entrappings will we find there?
The Iron Bridge is a very long bridge that extends from the southern tip of the kingdom over to Tar Island. It is a covered bridge, but the covered part of it has fallen in disrepair, for it is a zone of non-combat, or really non-travel. We have guards and a small outpost stationed on our side of that bridge to protect whatever may be coming across it. We're not talking about Wyvern, of course. We're talking about monsters and evil coming from Tar Island. Tar Island is just an evil presence. It's nothing like as if the gods themselves have taken black oil and poured them from cups. The peaks of their mountains are stalagmites. No, yes, they're from the ground, right? Stalagmites, stalactites from the ceiling.
G for ground, C for ceiling.
Yeah.
Stalagmites. See, I know what I'm talking about. Stalagmites of pure congealed oil, darkness, and obsidian, and there are beyond the wyverns. There's bipedal and quadruped beasts there, and we keep our guard and our small squadron there to hopefully keep them at bay, and we rotate them out each month. So crossing,
it's like where I'd like to build my next vacation home.
It's some quite valuable property, milady. I can guarantee you.
Yes, yes, sounds intriguing. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And as you guys are talking, you see coming in from the doors that you entered, all of your weapons are being brought in, every last one of them.
Hell yes.
Yes. Give me a max.
And they're all handing them over to you very sheepishly, and you hear some more silent sort of thank yous and bows of respect and such like that. And so Axor looks over to Make and he says, "So what do you think?" And Make says, "This looks like quite the band of adventurers and heroes." And Axor replies to him and says, "So what is your plan to get, ultimately to Tar Island?" And he says, "Well, stay off the main roads. They're going to be open air and unfortunately primary targets to the wyvern flying overhead." And Axor looks at them and is like, And of course, all the other creatures and beasts and characters will be doing the same. And Make replies, "Absolutely." So they're having a private conversation. Not private, they're talking amongst each other. Do any of you have any questions for Axor or for Make for that matter?
Well, okay. Do we really? Okay. So I'm asking you, Dungeon Master. So do we really know? I mean, I know what a wyvern is, my character, but I'm not sure if I know how to actually kill one.
They're not simple. They're very strong beasts. They're not like a dragon. They're lesser dragons. They don't have the language of dragons. No. They don't have the intelligence of the dragons. But they're fierce. They can be beat, typically with siege weapons, ideally. So unless you guys are carrying a ballista in your bag of holding,
I don't think any of us are. No. Okay.
So,
okay. Thank you.
Yeah. There's definitely a level of holy shit. What are we gonna do once we get there? But hopefully some sort of strategy will present itself. But yes, this is not for the faint of heart for sure.
Okay, just curious, asking.
All right. Yep.
Thank you. But
So
as
he
for
looks
him, I
around.
don't have questions. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Anybody else before we move on? Anybody else have any other questions?
No.
All right. So, Axor looks at you and says, "Do any of you need any equipment? Anything for traveling? Rations, rope, bedrolls. You will be roughing it on this trek to Tar Island unless you guys have some sort of... We're not talking tents. We're talking sleeping under the stars with the rough terrain."
I've got everything I need. I just ask that you take care of my donkey, Grog, that I'm going to leave in the stable.
Where is your donkey now?
He's in the stable.
Where? Out in the front, outside of the city walls, or outside of the outside
No,
of the
he's
castle
in
gate?
the city walls. He's outside the castle gates.
So he looks over. What's his name?
Grog. He'll be the
Well-
most stubborn bastard in the... It's easy, you'll find him. It'll be fine. Stop painting me
He
off.
chuckles. He
But he's
chuckles
my
and
friend.
he chuckles and like signals to like a guard, and he tells them to go and grab him. They're going to bring him into the royal stables.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any animal friends or any sort of considerations for friends or compatriots that will be joining us or not? Now is the time to make a decision who are coming, and we'll take care of them the best way we can.
I got nothing.
No. I'm good.
All right. So he looks over at Make and he says, "So what's your plan?" And Make looks back at him and says, "I think we'll make our first stop for the nightfall in the enclosure at Windsor's Teeth." And you see Axor sort of, stroke his substantial chin and says, "Good plan, good plan."
Mm-hmm.
So at this moment, you guys are basically released. Unless you guys have any business, you guys are good to head off.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I'm good. I got everything I need.
Good.
Well,
All
Betty's big bunny bobbling by a blueberry bush. Let's get this thing on the road.
What the fuck was that?
What the fuck?
Tongue twisters. It helps keeps the mind sharp.
That's quite the mouthful, that's for sure.
Torg is like,
Oh
I
my
bet
God.
you're the sharpest tool in the shed.
So, so you see Axor, like, again, thank you for your heroics. I must leave and prepare the defenses, fix the defenses, and then deploy them. We hope we'll be up and running in less than 3 or 4 hours. And if you need anything before you leave the city walls, let any guard know. They will know you by name. And so he leaves. And so you guys Make sort of escorts you out the doors you came out, sort of winding down the keep doors and walking into the beyond the keep gates. You see like they're taking down tables, and again now they're taking down the grandstand. Finally they've gotten there, and as you come up to the ground area, the field, the fairgrounds area, people are starting to mill about. The obviously the festival is canceled, and so people are moving their stuff out of stuff that they do have left. And Make is sort of guiding you towards sort of an exit to the city walls that's more towards the left. You guys, all of you came in from the left-hand side. He's bringing you to the right, and there's 2 main roads in and out of the castle area, and he's heading you further down. And so you guys are slowly making your way there, and as you exit the city walls, you finally understand what the the Calendar Valley actually means, because you come out and you've got this sort of elevated area, and you see some little smaller shops just outside the city walls, similar to the longhouse that we had in last year's campaign. Less, I guess, registered style businesses, more stragglers, few smaller houses, more sparsely populated. But then this road slowly moves its way down the valley, and it sort of angles its way towards a river that you can see far off in the distance, way down, and it snakes its way down. And as you guys are walking on that road, the city, like the little villages and little buildings, definitely get sparse until you guys are no longer in cover, and that's where Make sort of veers you off to the left, and he looks back at you guys and says, well, this is where we leave the main road and into the relative cover of not being on the road, which is not much cover. And you all sort of look in front of you and see that you're talking about slopes, I don't know, maybe a 10-degree slope downwards into the valley, some rocks here and there, a few sparse Joshua trees sort of looking things, but you guys don't have much cover, so it's going to be time to book it. But that road is even less covered, and probably the best way to get it. And you see some things coming in front of you that could provide some cover, but you are completely exposed. So I'd like to ask you what your marching order would be.
I'll be towards the front with Zenere.
Okay.
I'll be in the middle.
So you want to guys put Make in front since he knows the terrain?
Yeah. You can scout ahead.
Okay. Grist, you're a ranger, right? You have scouting abilities?
Yes.
Where would you like to be?
I'll kind of stay somewhere mid pack.
Okay. So I'll put you in front of Torga, but behind Eve and Daria. Who would you like first, Eve? You or Zenora? Zenoria, sorry.
Let's go with Zenere. She's probably
Zenore. Let me write that phonetically.
Mm-hmm.
I like that name.
Yeah, she'd probably basically put him in his place and be like, she's kind of the Jedi Master to his Padawan.
Okay. And Gibble, where are you feeling comfortable?
Farther near the front. We'll just say Gibble's quite confident in this, in how he's feeling right now.
He'll be the first one the Wyvern needs.
Are you okay? Are you okay at the back, Torga? Are you good with that?
I'll stick in the back.
All right.
Where I'm at means nothing to me.
All right.
I don't need height to be mighty.
Just need me axe.
Just need me axe. That's it. Just need me axe. And my
All right. So you guys are making your way through. You're sort of snaking through quite rough terrain as you're going down, and unfortunately, the shorter you are, not that we're talking about heightism here, it's sort of tougher terrain because you're going down to a degree of 10 degrees and walking over rough terrain. But you guys are doing it. Make's keeping a good eye on you, and he's constantly sort of keeping an eye out for different kinds of things and looking around. You guys don't necessarily see anything. Obviously, you're not seeing any wyverns, but as you make your way into the afternoon, or late afternoon, let me just do a roll here. So Make is walking through. Actually, Sonora, can you do a perception check, please?
Zenora, you said?
Yep.
Okay, give me 1 second. Gonna pull up her sample. That will be a natural 20.
Ooh.
Wow. All right. First 20 of the campaign. So as you guys are walking, Zenora, you're, well, existentially, of course. Aaron, you're playing Zenora as well at the same time. She looks down and she notices like a fine white woven mist under her feet. It's not like a mist that you'd think that is a sort of a natural occurrence. It's more of a spun type of mist, and it's very disconcerting because there's a bounce to it, and you're entering this area of rocks that are sort of craggly and growing in size, and you definitely get a sense of dread from this. No one else is noticing it at this point.
Is it reasonable to conclude that these are spider webs of some sort?
Absolutely.
There are spiders around. You must be very cautious. Keep your wits about you.
So make like stops. He puts his hands up like that. Roll his perception. Jesus. Eve, can you roll perception, please?
Yes. Here we go. I'm in the wrong tab. There we go. A 19 reduced to 18 because my perception's not good.
Well, that's good. You also see the web under your feet, and you see that it's sort of spreading towards the left, sort of in this like very fine sort of carpet. It's not very apparent, but it's definitely there. Gris, can you also roll perception, please? I'm giving you all a +2 because she's already +1 to your rolls because Zenora's already made mention of it.
That's another natty 20.
Holy crap! Okay.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Big guns.
Gris,
Getting
you're
them all
seeing...
out before combat.
So as you stop, when the alert is put up, you see like the carpet itself is moving towards the left, but you do see some tendrils sort of going to the front of you, like straight ahead, but most of them are going towards the left of you. Gibble, can you roll perception, please?
Oh my gosh.
Are you serious?
Good roll.
Yes.
20?
Yes.
Hey!
You guys are masters against spiders. So what you see is a clear path towards the left, and you see the ones going forward are moving around some of the stones that are sort of protruding now as this terrain is changing a little bit, and it's definitely going forward. And so you get a sense there's two layers of this web. And finally, Torga, can you roll perception, please?
Okay, let's see what happens.
Can we get a 20?
12. I didn't.
That's 13 in total. So you look down and you definitely see like what everyone's talking about. And you're not quite sure. It looks like spider webs, but you're like, why would it be on the ground? You're not really, you're sort of like, understanding what's going on. But at this point, I would like to ask you all to roll for initiative.
Oh my god.
Oh.
And Aaron, if you don't mind changing the music.
Sure. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I rolled terribly.
Oh, God.
Uh,
Oh boy,
Oh, I love this.
shit's going down, people.
Okay, rolled.
All right, what'd you get?
17.
Okay. Sonora, what did she roll for initiative?
Zenere rolled a
Zenere.
dirty 20. Eve rolled a 2.
Okay, let me just. I need to do this phonetically because it's annoying me. Zen or Ray, all right?
Zenere.
Like Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Ray
right?
Palpatine.
Yeah, I was
Yep.
kind of just, honestly, that's what came to mind. Ray.
Okay, she rolled what again? Sorry.
Dirty 20.
Wow. Okay, and Eve
2.
2, and Grist, what did you get?
5.
5, and Gibble, what did you get?
dirty 20.
Jeez. Wow.
Got a lot of dirties going on tonight.
Yeah, this is
It's gonna be dirty. Ready.
need quite the battle. So as you guys see from the left-hand side, this giant wolf spider comes over the top of one of these stones, and let's see, we've got. I'll give the first attack because she's further. Actually, I'll give it to Gibble because he's closer to the spider than Zenore is. So, Gibble, what do? You see the spider coming right over this stone and basically maybe 10 feet away from you.
Awesome. So, Gibble already has out his great axe because he just walks around with it always. Right? It's his prized possession, right? And so, keep in mind, this
Of course he
axe is about
does.
as big as he is. Yeah,
Right.
And so, anyway, he's gonna just run over to it and just try to chop it, try to hit it.
Okay. All right. So roll on your 20 to see what you get.
13.
Wow, that's a hit. Well done.
All right, and that is going to be the worst damage I could have rolled for.
Oh,
Oh,
No.
you tried.
so 4, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Did he take a leg off, at least? Did he graze a leg?
Maybe a tiny cut.
Did he hit the toe?
It's
Did he
something
give
worth
it a rug burn? Something.
it's something worth boiling for dinner. All right. Zenore. That's good. Is that Zenore? That's good.
Mhm.
All right. I'll get it. I promise I'll get it. Zenore,
You got
you're up.
Okay. She is going to use a bonus action to cast Compel Duel against the giant wolf spider. So that's a Wisdom
Wow.
saving throw, por favor.
Wisdom saving throw. All right.
DC is 13.
18.
Okay, so it succeeds, nothing happens. But she's still gonna try to compel it, so she draws her rapier and her buckler shield and kind of points it at the beast and says, "Foul beast, face me!" And it doesn't react. But she's still gonna run up and make 2 rapier attacks.
Wow. All right. Yeah, she's about 10 feet away from it.
Okay,
Well within
yeah,
her
so she's
movement,
able
I
to
assume. Yeah.
close the distance pretty quickly. First is going to be a 20 to hit.
Natty 20?
Dirty 20.
20? Okay, so it's definitely a hit.
All right, and the second one will be a 16 to hit.
No, both hits.
Okay. A total of 20 points of piercing damage. I rolled an 8 and a 7.
So,
And she cuts into
Zenore,
this thing.
you see her moving fingers and just sort of incanting, and the spider has 0 effect and 0 response to it. Yet she charges it and takes your rapier and immediately kills the wolf spider.
Oh, shit.
However, behind that, from the front part, is the second great giant wolf spider, who is attacking from the forward angle, and it is going after Make, who was taken by surprise. So an advantage to Make, manage to the spider on Make. Ooh, that is a hit on him. So you see the spider suddenly jumps over the front part of the stone that was those little tendrils that Gibble had seen that were going around that stone. You guys were walking into two different webs. One was for the one that just attacked and that she took care of, and the one that was in front of. And he takes, let's see, 6. Oh, 6 plus 1. Wow, maximum damage on that one.
Ooh.
Yeah. And he's got to roll a 11 Constitution or take poison damage. Okay, he makes that 12. Okay, so you see, as you guys are all like amazed by this flurry of attacks by Zenore, completely demolishes the first spider. You guys are like completely caught off guard by hearing behind you that Make is being attacked, and you see this another wolf spider lays into his shoulder and basically bites him. It is now Torga. It's your turn.
How far am I away from the spider?
The spider, probably you're about close to the end of the column, and it came from the front, maybe 12 feet.
All right, so I'd like to go up and use my reckless attack.
Okay, and what does that do exactly?
So that
what does
means
that give you?
My first attack on my turn, I decide to attack recklessly, and it gives me advantage on my melee weapon attack roll using my strength. But attack rolls against me have an advantage against me until my next turn. So that's the caveat.
Say that again. Repeat that, please. Say that again.
So I use my strength.
Strength, yep.
But when the attack roll comes at me, it has an advantage until my
advantage.
Next turn.
Okay, thank you. All right, cool. All right, what are you going to be using for your weapon?
I am going to be using my warhammer.
So you're going to move up the column and just jump right into the fray.
Yes, I am. Of course.
Nice. All right. All right, and what do you roll?
8.
So as you see, Torga just screams and like, you bloody bastard! And then like runs through the column and swings its warhammer, and the spider, somewhat off balance, manages to avoid that attack. And we come to Grist. It's your turn.
Try it again.
Okay, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on the wolf spider.
Okay.
And then I am going to take a shot with my longbow.
Have I told you I hate Hunter's Mark? I don't know if I've told you that before. Just saying.
I don't think I've ever heard that before. That is an 18 to hit.
That is a hit.
23 to hit.
I like his hunter's mark.
And then,
DM's Bane.
I know.
That would be 9 damage.
All right. Nice. And that's your only attack? That's your primary your attack?
Yep, I only have the
What were you using? What was your weapon you're using?
longbow.
The bow? The longbow? Okay. All right. And since is this his turn, he's going to roll. And then we're going to come back to Gibble. You're up next. Ooh. And so Make, who just took this massive blow in his shoulder, he tries to grab his pole arm and he basically slips and he just can't even grip it. He's going to have to change strategy. So he completely miffs his attack. And Gibble, you're up next.
He's just going to swing his great axe again, hoping that he could deal better damage to it since he just scratched it last time.
So you're going to move up right into the column, so you're going to be sort of surrounding right almost beside Torga.
Wow.
Okay, go for it.
7.
Unfortunately,
Well, looks
that's
like
a miss.
Yeah, we ain't hitting shit. If I could hit it, I think I could damage it if I could just hit it.
I could take it in one blow.
You
So,
right?
Zenore, you see this this carnage happening behind you as you finished off the first spider. It is your turn.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is Eve is going to reach into a
Eve,
small
sorry.
bag.
Yes, sorry.
He's gonna reach into a small bag on his waist, a gree bag, and is going to pull out a Eye of Newt, and is going to cast a Hex as a bonus action onto the spider.
Okay.
That is... Oh, goodness. So I deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target whenever I hit it with an attack.
Ooh. Just you, though, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And that's concentration up to 1 hour. And it just works. There's no saving throw or anything.
Okay.
And I can also choose one ability when I cast a spell to make the target have disadvantage on ability checks made with that ability. So
Okay.
I'm going to choose Constitution for that ability.
Okay.
That being the case, Eve is then going to basically start forming like different hand motions in particular ways, and this kind of like cackling green energy is going to form around his hand. And he's going to send it forward in a beam of crackling energy towards the wolf spider, and he's going to use an action to cast Eldritch Blast.
Oh boy. Jesus. Bane of
That
my
is going to
existence number
be
2.
a 16 to hit.
That is a hit.
All right. That will be 4 points of damage then. Force damage, plus 1d6 from Hex. Which I will roll now. Un moment, por favor. Plus 2 for a total of 6 damage.
Okay. Yeah. So after that attack, you see the spider is like not shrieking because it doesn't have vocal cords, but it's like writhing, and it just really creepily like takes it and just moves back in this unnatural way, and it scurries back into its lair that it had found between these two rocks, and it's almost like not a funnel spider, which is scary as crap, but a giant wolf spider. In this realm, in my story, it isn't in a funnel. It sort of retreats into this little crevice that is, and you can see like these sort of touch wires that you guys tripped when you came in. It's hiding in there.
Okay. Eve is going to use his movement to get up there and basically draw Mistguard from its scabbard and just kind of like wait and ready to attack, and that will be his go.
All right. So then we go back to, since this is retreated, it's going to then pass on to actually Zenore. She's up. She's the closest out of the 220s. Actually, no, she already attacked. Sorry, Gibble did first, and Eve did. So then we'll give Zenore. That's her. She moved to advance, right? She moved up. All right. So the next up is
Zenore moved on the first one.
Zenore.
Eve advanced to the second one.
Okay. So then we have Torga. You're up next, and the spider is in its lair. You don't see it, but you know it's in there because you witnessed it sort of scraggle in there.
Ah, it retreated like a cowardly little bitch. That it is. Ah, come on up and fight me like a woman.
Most big spiders are female, so that tracks.
Yes. Ah. Sorry, I'm cracking myself up. Sorry. All right, so she's gonna. Okay, so how far is she from where it retreated?
You're maybe 10 feet, but you see that it's inside of its little lair. and
So
it's
I'm
retreated because it's-
I'm gonna run up and join Eve.
All right. So you do that, and next we have Grist. What are you doing?
I'm gonna join the others.
Okay. And so you guys basically are standing around sort of like the most sort of highest point of the stone away from its lair, and Mate comes up and he's going to use his... He's going to do this like sort of really intricate incantation with spirit signs, holding his hand like this, and then he sort of curves his body, and he goes up to the opening of the where the spider was, and you see this green gas coming out of his palms and enters the hole. And the spider rushes out.
While we're all
God.
standing in front of the hole.
While you're all standing there, yes.
God damn it!
And Gibble, you're actually
Green gas like
closest to-
pheromones.
I didn't know that Make was an exterminator. Nobody said that.
Well, it was a poison spray, but it made a saving throw, so it probably got uncomfortably smelly in that little cavern. So Gibble, you're up. You see this very wounded, very hobbling spider move its way out of its protective lair. And I'll give you advantage on this roll because it's moving very slowly.
All right, and so Gibble will just run right up to it and hopefully end it here. So you said with advantage on this attack?
Correct. It's disoriented, it has nowhere it's going, and it's moving very slowly.
That is... Oh my god. An 11 on with the higher one.
Ooh. Ooh.
Sorry.
Oh.
That was the higher one?
That was the higher one.
That was the higher one. You almost hit it, but because it's so wobbly and it's coming out of its lair, it actually like collapses on one of its legs, unexpectedly, and you missed that second one.
It drunken mastered itself away from you.
Right.
All right, let's see if Sonore can deal the death blow for a second time here.
This fucking thing.
I mean, Eve?
Oh, Eve. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Get these in order.
It's all right, man.
All Dragonborn are the same, right?
I always do that about Charles. He's dragonbornish.
It all comes out now. Okay, so having drawn Mistguard, he is going to attack the giant wolf spider.
All right. And you got advantage, by the way. Like I said, everybody's going to get advantage on this one.
Thank you. Not much better. 14 to hit.
That is actually a hit.
Okay.
You were so close, Gibble. So close.
Ooh.
So
Uh,
that's so far
Gonna
away.
be that plus that. Oh my god! I rolled maximum damage. Okay, that's that's gonna
Well,
be
yes!
11 points of damage from the longsword, plus 6 from Hex.
So he basically smashed it, brought it back to life, and then smashed it again.
No, he killed it, and all the babies that were stuck on its abdomen in the back.
Oh,
that he didn't know they were
hell
about to be born, he
no.
crushed all those as well.
Ew! Ew!
Aaron, do the scuttling noise. Oh God! God damn it!
That's so
Gosh, I don't like
wrong.
it.
I like it, but I hate it, but I like it at the same time.
It's a little ASMR.
Yeah. Yes.
I would call that ASMR SM. Sorry.
Yeah. Woo.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right, so you guys just finished that, and Grist, can you roll for perception, please?
Sure. That would be 12.
Okay, that's not going to do it. So I'm going to go through that. So it's E. Then Zenore, can you roll perception, please?
Absolutely. All right. That is a 19 plus math. 19.
So, okay, that's So, as you deal that blow, outshining the rest of us, you get a sense. You hear something as you deal that blow, and it sounds like a very low grunt, and all this clashing and armaments action happening seems to have attracted the attention of something moving in the area, and it's now coming towards you. And you see off maybe 25, 30 feet this shape, this blackish mass of fur sort of quite quickly running towards you.
Ooh. Are we talking like wolf-sized or like bear-sized or bigger?
Bear-sized. You can pick it out as a bear.
Okay.
And the actions and like the grunts and the activity we just went through, these two wolf spiders, has definitely attracted the attention of a bear that was in the region, and it was attracted to this attack.
Okay. She's going to kind of flick the black blood of the spider off her blade and just call out to everyone else like, "There's a creature approaching. Stand your ground." And she's going to... you said it was like 25, 30 feet away?
Yeah, further down the slope. Because you were just dealt that death blow, you can get sort of an angle towards, between the rocks down this slope.
Yeah, she's going to close the distance and try to attack it.
Wow, okay. So what's your movement? So you're going to basically
30
move
feet.
it, meet it halfway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it can move 40 feet, so you're going to meet it quite quickly. So the rest of you are just like witnessing her cutting up spider number 2, preparing dinner for everyone, and she looks back.
Zenere on spider 1, Eve on spider 2.
Eve on number 2, okay. I'll get this, I swear.
I like these.
You're good.
I like
And-
these other people.
They're doing well for you, aren't they, lass?
I love it.
So,
Love it.
Insert people.
Hey, all same to
so
me.
you guys see Zenere burst into the sort of sloping flats, and the rest of you are like, what the hell? We just dealt with 2 spiders. Now we got this other thing going. So you guys are somewhat like caught off guard, and you see Zenere bolt down towards the, like I said, further down the slope. I'd say I guess all of you guys actually can see her sprinting down, including Meg, towards this black bear coming up towards her. And since you're both running at each other, uphill and downhill, I'm going to do a straight up initiative roll to see who gets first attack.
Okay. Sure thing.
Between,
That's going to be a 14 from me.
and 5 for the black bear, so you have initiative.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do a couple of rapier attacks. First one is a 13 to hit.
And that is a hit.
Okay. Second one is a 10 to hit. I think that's going to miss.
That's a miss, yeah.
Okay. So the first one is going to be 8 points of damage, but she is going to use Divine Smite and roll another d8 for another 8 points of damage. So 16 total. She calls on the kind of holy power of Bahamut to vanquish this foe.
Okay. All right. So you guys sort of all witness this and are in awe of it. And Gibble, you see this happening, and you're probably about... What was your movement speed for Zenora?
30 feet.
30 feet. So they're, Gibble, they're about 30 feet away, 25 to 30 feet away from you guys in this little sort of encampment of stones.
Okay. Well, Gibble's movement is exactly 30. So
you want to move into the fray, basically?
That's exactly what Gibble wants to do, yeah. He's going to
All right,
run in.
and get ready for the next round?
Yeah, he's going to just
All right.
get right in.
Cool. And Torga, what are you going to do?
Targa's gonna run into the fray because she's thinking she needs another fur cloak.
Hell yeah.
It's cold up in the mountains, you know? It's cold
What's your
up
movement?
there. 25
What's your movement speed?
feet. 25 feet.
Okay, so you get within striking distance. All right. And Grist, what do you do?
I've already had my hunter's mark move over.
Oh yeah,
Of course he did.
Just
Love
in
that
case you
thing.
didn't realize
just in
that.
case I
Love it.
forgot.
Love that hunter's
And,
mark.
I've notched an arrow in my longbow, and I'm going to take a shot.
All right.
As an 18 to hit.
That is a hit.
At 11 damage.
So you see, Grist sort of stands on his rock that's right in front of him, notches a bow, and an arrow in his bow, and launches it, and literally pierces the skull of the black bear and takes it out, and it is dead.
Nice.
I tried to do my
Nice.
best to not put too many holes in your new coat.
Thank you. Thank you.
I didn't even have a chance to swing at it. Come on.
Oh, well, me little guy. I'm sure you'll get your turn next
You
time.
inspired me to take the bear out. Thank you.
Me thinks that he's full of shite, but I'll accept what he says. Thank you for securing my next fur cloak.
All right, and we have exited combat here. So you guys have 2 dead spiders, and you've got a black bear carcass. What do you guys want to do?
I'd like to go skinning that carcass right away.
Hmm.
We've
All
got
right,
food. We've got rations.
We got
and
food and pills. Food and
Make-
pills.
Make joins you in that. Like, you can tell that Make is definitely skilled in using resources, and unfortunately, as a bear that he would have revered, it was in attack mode out of fear. So you can tell that he's not exactly happy this happened, but he's like, so what
I'll
technique
give
do you
the-
use for skinning?
I
What's that?
think the ranger should have its claws. He killed it.
Absolutely. So Make follows your lead, but he's definitely intent on watching how you do your stuff and asking you questions, just very curious about your techniques. You can tell that he's got like an affinity for this type of lamenting for the death of a creature, but honoring it with using its entirety of the sacrifice it had, like and its its pelt and the meat and all that kind of stuff. So definitely sort of returning it to nature itself. And while Make and Grist are doing that, what do the rest of you do? You got 2 spiders. Not necessarily anything.
Not a whole lot I think me want from those. They just guts.
True.
I think
True.
Eve is going to go up to Make and kind of lay his hands on him, and will utter a prayer.
Ooh.
May Bahamut keep you and protect you. And he's going to heal him for 5 HP,
Ooh.
Nice.
depleting his lay on hands pool.
4, you said, right?
5 points of,
5.
of
Okay, thank
HP.
you. Very nice. Thank
Yep.
you.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
meanwhile, Zenere is going to go check out the spider cave, see if there's any dead adventurers or any loot in there.
Torga's gonna say that the bear, make sure we use all the bear, because dwarves believe in using everything. Make sure none of it goes to waste. All
Make
of it is
definitely
useful.
nods in agreement for sure, because that's the way of nature.
I feel like I'm bonding with Make, and I'm more than happy to show my way of doing things, and happy to learn anything that he can offer as far as a skill or a different way of doing things. I'm all
Yeah, you
about
see that.
that.
Yeah, you see that he uses like a very different shape. It's not like necessarily a dagger to cut open. It's like a very almost like can opener, as it were, shaped dagger, and it actually cuts the pelt less. It actually gives it a better seam, and you're quite impressed by it. But it looks homemade, so it looks very learned and very practiced. So you're very impressed by that. So you guys are going back and forth on training on that. And Zenere, you get into the first one that came from the left-hand side, and its layer, there's nothing much in there. But in the second one, you find a dagger, like a rusty old dagger, that just happened to be there amongst some bones that was spun together. And you find a shirt of mithril. No, I'm just kidding. There's nothing really in there. It's just...
Okay.
Find that. I
Is
need
it
to
like
know.
just kind of a plain old dagger, or anything
Yes,
unusual
it's
about
a
it?
plain old dagger. Yeah, nothing of value really. It just happened to be amongst the bones or the body that it pulled in to eviscerate or whatever that's called, or liquidate until it just sucks it in there. So yeah, it was just happened to be amongst that.
It just got dissolved in its spider guts.
Exactly, this
Yeah.
old big old Slurpee.
And then bleh.
All right, she'll kind of toss aside the dagger, but take a minute to kind of say a prayer to Bahamut, kind of consecrate this as the last resting place of some poor soul, then head out.
All right. So you guys finish assembling. You guys take what you can from the carcasses and make points towards. It's definitely coming towards the end of the first day, and he's taking you guys towards these stones that are very not like the ones you just left, but these ones are more polished, and they're in almost like gravestones to a certain degree, but they're not. But they're all these very odd protrusions. And as he brings you towards them, and he says, "This is Windsor's teeth. Legends tell of giants that carved Calendar Valley from stone. They took massive oak-pulled hewing machines to carve out the shape that gives us the rise on either side and making the ravine in the middle." And as he's sort of talking, that you realize there's this very definitive river that's splitting the valley. And as they finished their work, Windsor, one of the giants, took many of the elk for his own without the rest of them knowing. And as the giants knew that taking items from nature was frowned upon, he was beseeched to the future as he was crying in trying to plead his case that he was merely doing it for his family, and his cry of forgiveness, he fell back into the land, and these are his teeth, as we see Windsor's teeth, and it will provide us our cover for the night. And so he leads you into this pattern of stones as they come out of the ground, and there's a couple of stones that you can see like sort of a hole, not unlike the spider stones, but you crawl into it and you come into a clearing, and you see some of the teeth that are sort of forming rooftops, and you see an area that you guys can rest for the night, and there's a fire pit in the middle. And Nake says, "We'll rest here tonight, and tomorrow we'll make a run towards the High River Pass." And that ends tonight's episode, Chapter 2, The Queen's Court. Tune in 2 weeks from tonight for the continuing story of the Accursed Queen. And the players will be up for grabs. We'll be finding out for those in the next couple of days, but keep an eye on our social media, and we'll find out who's playing next week. And we'd like to thank everyone tonight for showing up and being in the chat. And we definitely had a great time tonight, and I appreciate all the players, and have a great night.
Bye.
Good night, friends.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I love
Ooh,
you.
happy turkey.
Nom nom.
Nom noms.